Hey guys, and welcome back to Best Practice TV and Talking Business. My good mate Lee Dean has stopped by. He's been working with us on our new magazine, Certified, but what we're here to do today is talk about his amazing, romantic, collectible magazine, which is right here, which is Duck and Whale. We're bringing great people to you. They're talking leadership, they're talking strategy, they're talking innovation, they're talking creativity. They've got the big ideas. This is Talking Business. Mate, thanks for stopping by. How are you?
I'm good.
That's the way.
Great to be here.
Thank you, thank you. So I think we're gonna kick back and talk about we can talk about 356s, and for those of you that are into Porsches, this is for you. If you're not into Porsches and you want to bag Porsches, go right ahead, because haters are going to hate. But today, today we're talking about Porsches,
yep.
I'm a Porsche fan. I've got an old one,
yep.
Beautiful old 964, old 911, 1990 model, that I don't drive as much as I would love to.
Like many people.
Yeah, exactly right. But tell our people, who's Lee Dean and what does he love?
Yes, who is Lee Dean? I'm trying to work that out. Okay, so I'm the publisher, editor, journalist, photographer, owner,
Coffee maker
of Duck and Whale magazine.
Yep.
Duck and Whale, I guess, here it is. So my background and why we started this magazine. I'm a graphic designer by trade. Going backwards, I worked for Wheels magazine. Mm-hmm. So Australia's kind of then leading publication.
Yep. Yep.
Back when just caught the end of the Kerry Packer era, where you'd get a turkey for Christmas.
Mm-hmm.
That's kind of changed now.
Yeah.
The good days.
Yeah.
In publishing, so I kind of worked with some amazing people, really kind of industry-leading journalists and that kind of thing. So getting around those guys was great. Before that, advertising agencies, Australia and London, and different things like that. So I was always working for people, and in about 2011, I decided to start my own business as a design business. Yeah. Called Gas Creative. Mm-hmm. Down here in Manly, and we're doing work for lots of different people. We started doing a little bit of work for Porsche Centre Willoughby, doing their magazine, and then I kind of saw a bit of a gap in the market for an Australian Porsche magazine, that we can kind of make a real creative kind of expression where there's not anyone guiding the thing. We do 8 to 10 page features on cars, massive double page spreads in photography, just because we want to. Why is it existing? Well, I love Porsches, I love cars, and I think I got a little frustrated at the mags that were out there at that point, and I think the magazines have adjusted since then. But there'll be a cover car and you go, oh, look at this thing, I want to take it home. And then you're reading through the thing and there's maybe 2 pages on it, or there's one little photo and you kind of couldn't get into it and you wanted more. So I thought, I want to do a magazine for the people like me that want lots of awesome pictures and a cool story, but it's less about speed, 0 to 60 times and those kind of things, and mechanical numbers, but more about emotions and feelings and what it's like to drive the cars and the nostalgia behind it.
And there's a lot, particularly this brand. This car, the 911 is the centerpiece of sports car development. For a lot, everything is measured and benchmarked against the 911 all the time since the beginning of time. Yeah.
50 plus years.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
So we've kicked it off. We're at nearly 2 years. We've done 5 issues. It's a quarterly magazine, so for a year. It did take us over a year to do 4.
I hear you.
But we're back on track.
Yeah, that's awesome. It's definitely something I think I think just to quote you there, and I'm going to keep using that quote now, is the magazine for the people. You know, it's definitely, it's obviously a niche group of people, but that's definitely what I love about it. And just from the name, there's cults inside the Porsche community around ducktails and whale tails. So if you look at you look at the older vehicles that have got if they've got the spoiler on the back, you've got a ducktail or a whale tail. So the big whale tails of the mid '80s, on the turbos and 930 turbos, and then the little tiny RSRs, with their little tiny ducktails. So that's sort of a bit of a story, but it's definitely it creates a divide in this little cult of Porsche followers where everyone's together but then divided, and it is good. But I think one of the things we were talking about before we sort of started the cameras rolling was just that piece around the nostalgia behind it. And it's about collectability, for me. So it's a business, and that we're talking business, and we're talking about business, but in terms of sponsorship. So there's a passion, and it's something for the people. And then, in this instance, there are, the suppliers and partners and people involved in a project like this that can leverage. And obviously sponsors can leverage. And so, and sponsors need exposure, and it creates a platform. But so when you talk about tabloid magazines, for example, they're a platform obviously to generate revenue. So they take something that people want and make money from it. This is about fueling passion. And then there's a few leverage opportunities to keep us, passionate. And so the sponsors contribute to making this thing sustainable. It's subtly different sort of driver and framework. So do you find it a challenge getting sponsors to come on board with you?
Well, not so much. Being a startup business and myself being so involved with the thing, and then running another business as well. So whatever time is the issue. So I'm the kind of one-man band guy with the symbol on the knees. But my main focus is to create something that is of value. Trying to sell something not of value to someone that doesn't want it is the hardest thing in the world.
That's exactly right.
So this is a premium magazine selling to a group of people that maybe they're business owners on our media kit, and from the survey of the owners that we've featured, they're roughly business owners turning over 5 to 15 million, traveling, buying obviously in the premium marketplace on all things. So creating a magazine that can then speak to that audience, and they have it in their house and on their coffee table, and then keeping it for years and years and generations is an appealing sell. And because of that, we're passionate about cars and we're passionate about our readership. We want to then have the right type of people speak to them. We can't just
Absolutely, totally. So with I was just thinking while you were speaking there, because it's a beautiful gift. So it's a beautiful gift for somebody who maybe they can't afford a Porsche, but they're into the brand and they love it. So it's a beautiful gift for and that would have been me 15 years ago, because that's it's my goal and my aspiration. And
there's a lot of people with
absolutely
with getting a Porsche on the bucket list.
Totally, absolutely, or driving one, or and so which one do I choose? And I don't know, and I love it, and I want to be involved in it. So it's a great way to be involved with a great brand. Obviously I can't even afford, or not many people can afford to go and buy the brand new 99 1.2 turbo at 500 grand. And then the options go on top of that. So, and that's Australian pesos. That's really I think it's absolutely fantastic, and definitely it's going to be it's definitely got pride of place in my house, in my office and in my house as a magazine. And my favourite T-shirt, by the way, which is worn out now, so I've got to get another one.
I'll send you one.
But so what as we sort of navigate this, it's a startup business.
Yeah.
It's gone into an industry. We've got lots of.
Why have we started a magazine in this time?
Yeah.
Question.
Oh no, that's not the question, because I think we've done the same thing. We've started a magazine together, certified. Yeah. But no, I think because there are a lot of maybe that's a good question, because there are a lot of businesses that think that their marketplace or their industry is dying, and you've walked straight into a dying industry and said, "This is what I'm going to do."
Yeah.
I would argue that don't worry about what the industry is doing. You're doing it for a purpose, and it's a passion. What are your thoughts there? Like, what are you thinking?
Yeah, look, I think that the structure of the business is very important. Who you're dealing with. A lot of our guys, a lot of people that are in Porsches, it takes a little while to be able to afford a nice toy. As you move through the business and achieving success in life and aiming for these things. There's families, and there's trying to find a cave to put your family in, which is getting more and more expensive. So you need to kind of run through these things, and then you kind of get to a point, okay, most of the time it's towards their 40s when people are buying these things. Not everyone is in that.
Made $1 billion like Mark Zuckerberg.
Yes.
Yep.
So, this magazine is kind of for everyone, and the people that we feature it's the guy who's in a trade that's finally done well enough that he can stretch out and get that car, and he loves it to death and cleans it with a toothbrush. And then you've got another guy who's got a workshop dealing with him. Maybe he's got a garage, and he's got people working in the garage that he pays to look after the cars, and there's 6 or 7 to 10 cars in the garage, and he doesn't mind if you take the car, whereas you can't get in the driver's seat of the other guy's car. We're dealing with all this kind of stuff.
Only 2 people have been in the driver's seat of mine. One of them. Yeah.
So, but why are we? There's so much passion there that people being 40, if you're in a business and you're in front of a screen the whole time, the last thing you want to do is go home and look at another screen.
I agree.
iPad sales are kind of doing this. Mainly, everything's moving to phone. If you're going to be promoting things, you kind of need to be on phone, or aiming that way now. So people kind of it's the tactile feel of the magazine that people love, and this isn't a standard magazine. It's not an 80 GSM throwaway thing.
That's right.
It's
collectible.
150 GSM. It changes stock halfway through, it's a beautiful kind of collectible piece.
Absolutely.
So if it makes you feel good holding the thing,
it's a book.
It's a book, so you can carry it around with you if you've got self-esteem issues. Just have it with you the whole time.
Yeah, I do. Yeah. Absolutely. Yeah, totally.
But to answer the question, why are we into magazines? I really like the way, and inspired by, you look at business people, look at Elon Musk and look at the industries he's into. He's into solar. Everyone thought was kind of dead. Like, who wants to be in solar? Who wants to have these ugly solar panels on their house? And he's gone reinvented or rethought an old kind of declining industry. Electric cars, batteries, all these types of stuff. So
rockets.
Who is into space? No one's into space. That doesn't work.
Yeah.
And he's rethought these 3 key industries and tied them all together. Now he's talking about drilling underground, which is massively expensive, and he streamlines the way the budgets and
he's going that way, isn't he?
Yeah, which is crazy.
Vertically integrating, literally.
So I think that we've got these great industries which people want, and we just need to rethink them a little bit. So we're looking at different ways to distribute, different ways to do the magazine. I think publishing as a whole needs to be kind of redone. Maybe you don't need 15 people working on the magazine. These types of things.
I definitely think have a look for Duck and Whale on Instagram. Beautiful Instagram page. Lee puts a lot of thought into it, and it's really, in terms of consuming that type of content, it's absolutely fantastic. So a couple of sort of more about you type questions, yes. and I've preempted this one. Yeah. what advice, like now you are where you are and kids and family and you found yourself a cave and you've got a good little fledgling business that's getting some traction.
Yeah.
What advice would you give to your 30-year-old self?
I didn't. I went to school on the Central Coast. Just a standard kind of terrible rough school.
Yeah. Me too. Yeah.
And I think I'm the most successful person in the family. I got laughed at when I was paying so much tax. All these things kind of, the baggage of that kind of come with you. Mm-hmm. So I'm trying to kind of get away from that and move into looking at business and life in a different way, and that's a challenge. I think people can relate to that. They kind of, you're assessing situations while
shit's behind you.
Yeah. So I've got it written on my desk. Don't look back.
Yeah.
To kind of move forward. So to answer the question again.
Don't look back.
Don't look back.
Go forward.
Yeah. Well, look, I really appreciate being asked to come and speak to you. I think you're a great inspiration to our business, and I always love to get around you because your energy and your kind of foresight for business is a massive, is just an honest.
I've got a secret crystal ball in my cupboard.
There's people. You're the opposite of the toxic person. Which you kind of need to get rid of, even if they're in your family.
Fair call. No, it's good. We'll edit that out. No, but right. And I get out of bed every morning. I'm like, I've got a choice today. It's like, you only get today once. Yeah. You only get one of today, ever. Yeah. You only get one of today. Just get out and go, well, today's today, and let's get everything out of today. That's all. It's just every morning. I just roll out and go, right, so I've been to the gym this morning. I'm hanging out with people that I love hanging out with. We're doing stuff that we love. We stop doing the stuff we don't love. We do the stuff we love. We didn't make money for a little while because we're doing the stuff we love, but people didn't like the stuff we loved. Yeah. Now people are starting to like the stuff we love and we're making good money. And it's not about making $1 zillion. Like, I don't want a garage full of Porsches, but so, it's, I do. Lee knows I do. But all jokes aside. So Elon Musk is an interesting topic. And you've been in the car industry for a long time, and we want to talk about toys. So, there's a full spectrum. You've got things like drag cars, which you've got gigantic engines that consume heaps of methanol, and they squirt down a dragway really quickly. Yeah, and get rebuilt. Or blow up. I saw one crash and blow up the last time I went to the drags. Yeah. You've got that, and then you've got these beautiful driving cars like a 356, which they're not big engines. They're just beautiful, romantic, well-made cars. Or someone like Singer. In Los Angeles. So I went to Sun Valley in Los Angeles the last time I was there and got a tour of the Singer factory. I haven't told you about that?
No. Well,
maybe
you did.
Yeah. So I hit them up and I got in there. So they took myself, my brother, and my brother's father-in-law.
We need to do that. Singer, if you're watching.
Singer, if you're watching, we'll tag you.
I'm available.
Singer, Lee would like to write about you guys in Duck and Whale. And I'll come and I'll bring Jack and we'll do the videos for you. So Singer, at the time they were moving, so I think they were moving or about to move, but beautiful factory and a startup. But and so they're reimagining. So Singer is about reimagining the 911, and particularly on that early 911 platform that's pre-964. Mm-hmm. But you got the Tesla, which is ludicrous. And even has a ludicrous mode button for those of you that don't know about don't know about Tesla, but Tesla have a ludicrous button. And so the modern house has solar panels on the roof. It's got batteries, and you bring your electric car home and you plug it in, and you charge your electric car overnight with energy from the sun. So fossil fuels are gone, coal-fired power's gone, and so you're collecting in the places that you can collect energy from the sun. Your mode of transport is charged. And even one of the girls here in the office, her partner rides mountain bikes, and he has an electric pedal-assisted specialised mountain bike. So he's doing a whole lot more riding with electric, assistance.
Yeah, sure.
And so those sorts of modes of transport. So where do you see it? Where do you see it going? Do you see us still passionate about cars in 10 years' time?
Yeah. People aren't passionate about driving to work. The people that I speak to are, these cars get them up at dawn on a Sunday.
Yep.
Like, it's not a, they want to get away from that. They want to get away from the main thing.
Mm-hmm.
So, companies like Tesla or whatever's going to come along, because obviously these other companies are going to need to adjust and go in that direction. So maybe if they're self-driving cars, if they're self-driving buses, maybe the transport system turns that way, so that they're all electric self-driving things and you just get on that thing to go to work.
Yeah, so there's a self-driving, there's either four seats going in that direction or 100 seats going in that direction. Because with a Tesla, you don't own it.
Yeah.
Maybe
it's a, you share the car. It's that type of thing.
You press a button and your car sharing comes to you and you get in and it goes there and it's self-driving Uber.
Yeah. So like this is 20 years or something. Mm-hmm. But maybe, like obviously fossil fuels has got a use by date. It might not be in our lifetime.
Some people saying 5 years.
Yeah. See, well, without Tesla, people were saying not in our lifetime.
Mm-hmm.
And now all of a sudden it's here. Look, when I kind of started the magazine, classic cars just started to go like this. So whether it's the stock market kind of being a little flat at the time, and then people kind of got wind of what was going on, people were investing in cars, and all of a sudden they were a 60% kind of increase over 2 or 3 years.
Mine did.
Ridiculous.
Mm.
Getting calls from insurance companies saying, "Hi, by the way, you have to pay more now because your car's doubled in price." So, I grew up tinkering with cars. I grew up drag racing. I grew up street racing. Smelling fuel and whatever. Like I have a petrol lawnmower because I'm nostalgic. And my neighbours are saying, just buy an electric one or just buy whatever.
Yeah.
In Porsche land, matching numbers is the deal. And originality is worth a fortune. But they made a lot of cars, so there's a whole bunch of cars that have been played with over the years. They've been raced, maybe they've been crashed, the engine blew up and you can't get the matching numbers anymore. Matching numbers means a chassis number and an engine number coming together from the factory, and if it's the same as that, it's worth a fortune. So if there's a car that doesn't have matching numbers, or if someone's increased the capacity of the cars, then I think that they're the cars that we're going to play with moving forward.
Yeah, it's interesting, isn't it? So it's so as a business, talking more about I agree. I don't mean to change the subject and bring it back to business, but we want to get some help for you. Yeah. So there's a couple of things. Is if you feel that you would like your business to be, you feel there's the ability for your business to be showcased in this beautiful publication that for the most part will be in most people's collections for probably 50 years. So you're talking about so if you've got a business that the people that would read this are the sort of people that you want to reach. You might sell watches, for example. Yep. You might sell tyres. You might sell holidays, furniture, anything that you think are relevant to someone like me, who's a reader of this magazine. So you can think, all right, well, what could I sell to Kobe? What would he buy? Business type stuff. Because of the people that are buying and this sort of stuff. Reach out to Lee, and we'll put all these details. And just keep in mind that the people like me are going to be carrying this magazine around for, I know that it will be the best part of 20 years until I hand them down to my son, because my son's getting into these types of cars. So it's a the sponsorship and support for Duck and Whale is something that is very, very, very long reaching. Yep. It's not just about the next issue. It's about, when you participate with this, you'll be around for a very long time. So what are some of the challenges? We have an audience here of great people that have always got lots to say and lots of questions and statements to make. Yep. What do you think the challenge for you is for, say, the next quarter or the next 6 months for your business?
Look, and I really appreciate any help. I'm not saying that I know everything about magazines or business or life. I'm open to any help that you guys want to give. what's my challenge?
Pain point for you for the next 12 weeks.
Creating the next issue.
Yeah.
So it's for me, it's balancing photography and balancing all those, actually making the thing with focusing on growth.
Mm-hmm.
So we're doing a lot of video content planned for this year.
Mm-hmm.
Focusing on reach.
Mm-hmm.
We don't, we may compete with like a financial review type magazine if they're still around,
Mm-hmm.
and which they have a massive reach of hundreds of thousands.
Mm-hmm.
But we're a 1.5% kind of. We're talking to the 1.5%. So we need to increase that reach and then kind of bring it back into maybe the top 5%. Yeah. So my biggest problem is probably a problem that I can't see.
Yeah. Yeah. Right. Okay. So transparency. I think monitoring and measurement. That's definitely what we do here. We have our numbers, and I think looking at our numbers means that we can say, actually, can we see everything? So I think it's really bookkeeping, keeping that up to date, keeping your numbers, and then starting to think how many leads, how many so we can look at our dashboard, and so we do that. That's a good thing. So look, I think so if you've got any suggestions for Lee, reach out, comment below this video here on YouTube. And so we've got an exciting competition to announce because we've just changed what the competition is. When you see this post on Instagram, so you've watched the YouTube video, go find the post on the Best Practice Instagram page, comment below, I'll read the comments. I'm looking for the best comment around why we should give you the magazine. Why are you going to get this issue or this issue? So you've got to comment below the Instagram post, and the best 10 words in the comments below the Instagram post on Best Practice TV, the best why I should give it to you, why we should give it to you, we'll send it out. And so we'll PM you on Instagram and we'll get your details and we'll post it out. So I want to see the best comment below the Instagram post. So when you see this on YouTube, go across onto Instagram and find us and comment below. So this has been, like, we could talk all day. In fact, we're going to turn the cameras off and we're going to keep chatting. But thanks very much for coming in and sharing. So if you're Big Boys Toys, if you want to know about any more toys, if you want us to talk about more toys instead of talking business, and it gets a bit entertaining because it is a lot of fun. But look for Duck and Whale. There is a subscription that you can do for it. You can get this delivered to you anywhere in the world. And absolutely romantic. I love it. I'm going to keep reading it. And so if you don't, then you're missing out. So sucked in. So have a look at the rest of the stuff on our YouTube channel. We've got lots more on Talking Business, but this has been Big Boys Toys and Duck and Whale magazine. Thanks, mate. It's been absolutely fantastic. So Duck and Whale on Instagram, get on it or you're missing out. YouTube channel here, Best Practice TV, subscribe or you're going to keep missing out. Best Practice Facebook page, Duck and Whale Facebook page, Lee Dean on Twitter, Kobe Simmet on Twitter. If you're not following us, if you haven't clicked on it, you're missing out. And all we're here to do is make life more amazing, more things to enjoy, goals focused that you can do and you can follow, help you do your job faster, more efficiently, easier, and have something to live for on the weekend. So that's been Talking Business. We've had a great time. We're going to keep chatting. You guys can go and do your thing. Bye for now.